Thank you for joining us in this celebration of exceptional Jamaicans.
So as we celebrate the achievements of these 39 outstanding awardees and the custodies and or their representatives, if the custodies are not here today, from all 14 parishes, let us draw inspiration from their achievements to continue the legacy of excellence, achievement, and service.
Hundreds of nominations, but only 39 recipients were chosen for the 2024 Governor General's Achievement Award. Now, we can only speak to a few of them, and we want to bring a little bit of their story to see how they've been able to do so much good in their community to be recognized in their various fields. So my first interviewee is Yannick Rosemary Mendez. Yannick, congratulations. How are you feeling being awarded this year?
Firstly, thank you. It's a bit surreal, to be quite honest. I did not expect the award, so it's an exciting feeling as well.
What makes it so exciting for you? What makes it significant? I mean, for you, you've had quite a journey. You've gone through a life-altering accident that at one point temporarily led to paralysis, and you've been here today as a shining example of persons who are resilient, persons living with disabilities, and how they can overcome. So how significant is that for you?
Alright, so it might come as a little shock, but I actually lost my mom on Monday. She always enjoyed seeing me collecting awards and just being amazing. So I wasn't going to come, but I actually came for her.
I mean, my condolences to you, and you being here today is another sign of that kind of resilience. I want you to start from where it all started for you, though, and I'm sure Mom was a part of that pushing and helping. So I know it must be difficult for you to be here today without her. Again, my deepest condolences. But where did it all start for you, that drive for community service, for working to help to enrich the lives of people around you?
Right. Actually, when I had my accident, I was 12 and going to high school. Just started high school, actually, second year of grade 7. Things are not readily accessible or being able to facilitate persons with disabilities. And I saw that as the onus to, be the change I want to see, and just to be that beacon of hope and inspiration for persons with disabilities. And because of that, I started to get involved in various spaces, such as the Youth Parliament. I left the Youth Parliament after my tenure ended, and I became a National Youth Advisor on the Youth Advisory Council of Jamaica. And from then, I continued, on that trajectory of leadership and change.
And here you are being celebrated today. What would you say to other persons in Jamaica who are contributing to society and to nation building, but they, sometimes the work gets hard, it gets tough? What would be that one piece of advice you would share with persons who may be looking on and wondering if they should continue? And I'm going to go a step further. Add to that advice as well, specifically for that young girl, that young boy who's living with a disability, and they may be wondering if they should take the next step.
You know, oftentimes we tend to do things for accolades or because we want to feel good within ourselves. But in truth and in fact, we can't strive for a society that is sustainable and inclusive if we're not the first agents of that change. So the work is going to get hard and it's going to get tedious. We're going to feel like we want to give up, but we have to ensure that we are doing it for the right reasons, and the right reasons being making Jamaica a place where we can all thrive on equal footing.
Thank you so much. And again, my condolences and all the very best. Keep doing what you're doing in your community and continuing the legacy of your mom as well. I'm sure she would be very, very proud of you.
Thank you.
Hailing from the parish of St. Mary, Macquarie Lewis is the 2024 recipient of the Governor General's Achievement Award for Excellence in the category 18 to 24. A big deal. Congratulations. How does it feel being recognized for the hard work that you've put in over the years?
Well, it's truly an amazing feeling. Honestly, I'm really humbled to be here, to be the recipient of such a prestigious award. It really just shows that, you know, the hard work that you've been putting in over the years, it really doesn't go unnoticed, and it's just really motivating for you to continue pushing, continue doing what you're doing, and know that it's making an impact in people's lives, and that's a great feeling always.
For you, it's been a good mix of academics and sports. You are on Hall, Irving Hall.
Yes, big up Irving Hall.
Some sports accolades here. But for you, I mean, this award is an academic award, but it's also a community service award. So talk to me a little bit about your work in the community and, that kind of what fueled you being able to do what you've done over the years.
Well, community service started for me from in high school. I've been a part of clubs such as Tourism Action Club, Key Club. It has been a lot of experiences going out to different homes, doing a lot of beach cleanups and so on. And even now, being a part of the dental program, we get to do dental outreaches to give back to the less fortunate and doing cleanings, free cleanings, extractions, everything. And just seeing the smile that you put on their face after a procedure, it just illuminates the room, and it's like, wow, you get to do this, you get give back to your community, give back to those persons. It's truly amazing, and it's something that I love to do, and it just reassures me that the profession I chose is the one for me.
So in a few years you'll be Dr. Lewis.
Dr. Lewis.
And I want to walk it back a little bit before even high school. What were some of the things that you think helped to encourage you to be so willing to give back to community, to give of self, to give service?
Right. Well, I'll say, honestly, I have to give thanks that I was blessed with both my parents, and, just looking up to them. They have been great role models for me. I've seen them, they have 2 children, me and my older sister, but you'd think they have, hundreds, because they treat everyone else's children as if it's their own. So, I've been in a household, and it has been not just me and my sister, but also, one of my mom's friends. Her mom went overseas, she migrated, and she took in, one of her daughters, and, she grew up with us, and, just looking at how she treated her as if it was her own, I was like, that's something I have to look up to, and it really resonated with me. And, going up from there, continuing into high school, it's really where I started to realize that, giving back and putting service above self. I'd always hear from everyone, you just do everything for everyone else and not yourself. You're always putting everyone else before you. But I just realized that it's something about me that, I just tend to just always put people above myself. But I just can't help it, And it's just really about service. It's always,
in a world where it's said that, you find that in some cases young men are not necessarily taking that step forward to shine bright and to be good examples. What would you say to that young man, and of course that young woman who may be at home as well, watching, wondering whether or not they can be in a position like you, coming from St. Mary, coming from wherever, whatever the background, the circumstance, and they may be wondering, can I find myself in a position to give back to my community, do hard work, and possibly be recognized for that hard work? What would you say to them?
I would say believe in it. Believe in yourself. You have it in you. You have what it takes. It's really a mental thing, and just believe in yourself. Believe that you can do it, and just work towards it. And what I think is, in service, nothing can be too small. So what you think might be, it's not gonna do anything, it might be the world to someone else. So, always, even if you think it's small, still do it. Start small. It has to start somewhere. So starting small, just do it and start from there. It grows from there. But once you don't start, it can't go anywhere. So start small. That's what I say.
Start small, and sometimes small tasks and have a big impact.
Can have a big impact.
Thank you so much.
And thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
So there's so many stories to tell, but we've decided to only tell you just a few. The biggest advice coming from all of these stories is to do good in your community, because there's nothing that's wrong with Jamaica that what is right with Jamaica cannot fix. From the parish of St. James, Simone Cooper Bernard has been awarded in the category of over 35 in this year's Governor General's Achievement Award. Congratulations. How does it feel to be a part of this excellent program of the GGAA?
Good afternoon to you again. It feels so wonderful. It is a big deal. It is something that everybody would want to be awarded with, and I feel honored as the beacon for the midwives of Jamaica.
I mean, you've done quite a bit of work in your community, but
Yes.
something that stood out for me is the fact that you have been assisting a child that's not your child. And tell me a little bit about that dynamic, because you are a midwife.
Yes.
You're helping to bring lives into this world,
Yes.
and your work is being, recognized today. But talk to me a bit about that. What brought you to a place where you were willing to take that step?
All right, so when I left Cornwall Regional Hospital and I was placed in the community of Granville at the health center as the lead midwife there, I met this young lady. She was 15 years old with a young baby. And for some reason, her situation tugged at my heart. And from there, I took her number. And then from there, I started giving her, little diapers here and there. And then it became a relationship where she became so dependent on me, where everything from that time until now, she has now started school. I was the one who paid her school fee, made her uniforms, bought her school books, has been sending her to school, weekly supply of groceries, everything.
Right, but I'm sure
And so,
the kind of philanthropic work that you're doing, even in that kind of sphere, didn't start there. Where would you say it all started for you?
it all started from coming from a humble beginning, growing up in the community of Rose Heights, St. James. You see persons going through so much, and then at the end of the day, when you get to go out of the community and you get to help persons, that was where it came from. I've always had a soft spot for helping. I just want to be helping. I wish I had much more to give, to be honest. I have other children that are looking to me, but I will not able to be offering to those at this time. So I have just decided to stick with her. And she's doing well, mommy's doing well. As a matter of fact, I'm about to get mommy into Heart now, so that she says she wants to be a waitress. And so I'm about to get her enrolled so that she can pursue waitressing.
And that's another example of why you're being awarded today. But as we wrap up, if there's one piece of advice you could give to other Jamaicans who may be at home wondering if they should take that step to help someone in their community, what would you say to them? And also, I want you to share with the world something that, if there's one thing that you'd want the world to know about you, what would it be as it relates to how you'd like to help the country and help the world at large?
All right, so I would like to appeal to persons. If you have and you can give an extra hand, give it, because it pays off. When you have somebody looking to you, even though I have children of my own, she calls me mommy. Both of them call me mommy. Both mommy and baby calls me mommy. And so it's a sense of satisfaction to know that you're able, when she calls on me to say, I don't have anything to eat, I can drive up to the community and get her at least one night's meal. I get to sleep a little easier that night because I know that, okay, somebody was looking to me, I was able to deliver. Right? And so if you can give a helping hand to somebody, doesn't matter how small it is, do it.
And that one thing you want the world to know about you?
The one thing I would want the world to know is that I am a midwife at heart, and I want to go to that place where I'm able to be at the top of the ladder, where I can make the effect that I want on maternal and child health in Jamaica.
Thank you so much. With me now is Andreen Cameron. And I want to say this interview is extra special for me because in 2017 I received this very award, and also I'm from the parish of St. Catherine, so I'm a little biased in this one, but congratulations. How does it
Thank
feel to be a
you.
part of this program?
It feels absolutely phenomenal. It's just such an amazing experience of just sitting in awe, but it's also such a moment of gratitude, a moment of reflection, and it's also very it's motivating because it tells you that the work you've been doing is not going unnoticed and that the work you're doing is making an impact, and it makes you want to push more and do more things, and it's just such an amazing and inspirational experience.
So Jamaica has seen you first as Miss St. Catherine Festival Queen, then you went on to take on the national title. And what many people may not recognize is that that kind of space is really one that lends itself to giving back to community.
A lot.
Building awareness, cultural awareness. But let's go further back. Where did it all start for you? Where did this drive to building community, helping the world, giving of oneself start for you?
Wow, so I will say it started with socialization. So my mother is very instrumental, or she has been she's played such a huge role in the person that I am today, especially because of her commitment to service. So my mother is a nurse, and naturally in that field of work, it's a lot of giving, it's a lot of service. And I remember growing up to see even some very small examples of like what you should be doing and how you should serve your community from my mother, because even at times I remember she would leave things like food items at the gate for some persons who would be coming into the community looking for things, and when we see that particular person, for example, would always run into the kitchen and get some stuff to give. And the way she does a lot of health fairs, and she's always been a very selfless person. She's always been just giving a lot to her community, and that has inspired me. And I think growing up and seeing that, it has reminded me of that, and my father as well, because my father is amazing in math. I'm in law school, so I didn't take the math path, but I remember even growing up seeing him bring persons from his schools and bring children from all over into our home on our veranda, and he was teaching them and helping them with math and other courses. So seeing those examples, there is no way around it.
And clear that seed has been planted and germinated, because you've also been working with students as well to help them.
It's a full circle.
Certainly. So talk about that and how you think that has impacted your community.
Okay, so I love teaching, and I think maybe I got that from my father. And so something that I have been doing is I tutor a lot of students. So for any of the courses that I did at the CSEC level and also at the CAPE level and even in university, so I'm always willing to help persons. So I will sit down, I'll have several sessions and help persons. In fact, even at the University of the West Indies, in my capacity as second vice president, I spearheaded over 30 review sessions that benefited over 400, 500 students, because I was teaching persons in my cohort and helping them the years above, the years below. And so I think it has made such a great impact, because several persons have come to me after saying that they've really appreciated it, and I've seen how I'm able to inspire persons and just tell them to keep going and to empower them. And that is just such a priceless and beautiful experience.
Clear, the work doesn't stop here. I mean, you're the reigning festival queen. You're about to hand over the crown. But if there is, with all the experience, with all the community service you've done, if there's one piece of advice that you would share to any young girl, young boy who may be watching, any person overall who may be wondering, should they take that next step to help in their community, to build a fence around those who may need support, what would that one piece of advice be?
Okay, so there's a quote, and if I'm remembering it correctly, it says that your service to the community is the rent that you pay for your time here on earth. And that is something that has propelled me, because I believe that we live to inspire, we live to encourage, we live to empower. Living is about giving. Living is not just about getting all these accolades and seeing all these accomplishments. It's about ensuring that you're giving back to your community. So I would encourage anyone to take that first step, because this is what life is about. And from experience, these have been the most impactful memories and the most impactful experiences that I have had. Being able to assist others, being able to encourage others, being able to be a shoulder for others to cry on, seeing how you're able to bring light to someone else's eyes, to encourage other persons to keep going. That is what life is about. And so I would definitely encourage anyone to take that next step, because it's just a tremendous feeling and it's what we're here to do.
Thanks for being part of What's Right with Jamaica. Congratulations.
Thank you.
From the parish of St. Thomas, we have Sarah Lou Angelique Morgan Walker. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Welcome to the GGAA family. How does it feel to be a part of this program?
A little overwhelming. It's like it's a lot to take in, but it is a timely reminder to tap myself on the shoulder and that I've come this far away, especially with the work of my organization. And so that's it.
Tell us a little bit about your organization.
Okay, so the Angelic Lady Society, we work with girls, primarily women and girls, right up to age 24, 27, across the island. We focus on vulnerable girls, high risk, mostly in state care facilities, juvenile facilities, and most recently, we have a focus on sexual abuse and sexual violence in the parish of St. Thomas, and we go into the high schools there, the 6 high schools.
There's clearly a passion for working with persons who may be in state care, and in our initial conversation you pointed out the fact that, so your name is Morgan Walker, but you're not married because you're adopted.
Yes.
So how has that influenced the work that you do? And tell us a little bit about that.
I spent at least maybe a good 2 weeks in a foster home, in a girls' home. Glenhope at the time is what we take care of young babies, and then you transfer from there to another home. And so I was very fortunate to be adopted, and I think just realizing that the same challenges I would have experienced as a teenager, with the lack of identity, the lack of groundedness as to who your family is, impacted by low self-esteem, struggling with suicidal thoughts, just wanting to know who your parents are, where you come from, why they leave you, and just realizing that girls in state care are impacted by those very same emotions, and it does have a ripple effect in their productivity, their progress, and just their maturity. And so I realized that in the same way I was mentored by Sunday school teachers, teachers at school, pastors, strangers even, that I would be able to offer that same kind of love and mentorship to them, which helped me. So I am thinking it will help them.
For someone who's watching now who may be wondering whether or not they should take that next step to assist their neighbor, assist someone who may be in need, what would you say to them, that one piece of advice?
I would say for someone who, if you look at me now, I think I look beautiful, but if you have something in your house that you can gift a child, you will never know the memorial impact that it has, that they were selected or they were seen, that they were cherished or chosen, and they would cherish that thing that you gave them, and it would remind them that they are not isolated, they are not neglected, they are actually loved. And so I would encourage persons, help who you can help. You never know the impact that it will have. And as a foster mom, what I've recognized is that the results of the work that you do or how you pour in may not show the benefits of it immediately. You have to just think long term and know that what you're doing is making a difference in their life, and maybe 10-15 years from now somebody will come and tell you thanks.
Paying it forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. Thanks again.
From the parish of St. Andrew, Mr. Vashon Orel Brown. Congratulations, Vashon. How does it feel to be a part of the GGAA legacy?
Thank you so much, Javon. I mean, I've had various awards over the years, but I think this one is special for the reason that it covers different aspects of one's life: academics, leadership, and community service, and so on. And I think that for me is overwhelming. When I look at my career, when I look at the ways that I've helped to build communities, lead in different areas, and also excel academically, it feels good to have an award that really recognizes the totality of those things, I think.
People know the Vashon Brown on television, that senior reporter and news anchor, but where did it all start for you? Not many people know that story, so bring us back to the beginning of Vashon before television.
I mean, I grew up in St. Catherine, a community called Riversdale, I grew up with my grandfather, who is now deceased. I've also spent a lot of time with my mother. At one point, I also lived with my father as well. And then I went to Enid Bennett High School. It was Bogwag High School at the time. I also studied at Northern Caribbean University. And I think I got an internship at RJR. That's how I ended up getting a job to work on television. So I suppose that's a compact, brief version of the story. I mean, I struggled through NCU because my family at the time couldn't afford it, but here we are.
Certainly, and I mean, quite a bit that happened in between that, lots of awards, Dreaming Scholarship. But how would you say your upbringing has fueled your thrust to not only be a good academic and an excellent broadcast journalist, but to also give back to your community in your own way?
Yeah, I mean, I think that because I struggled quite a bit when I was growing up, I think I've used my career to sort of be a role model to others. So I think one of the things you'll see on my profile is how I've now sort of volunteered to help young people who are preparing for the Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate exams so that they can do well at the English language aspect of the exam, because I know that preparation for those exams can be intense, especially if you don't have somebody to help to guide you. And so I've, worked to build people's argumentation and that sort of final section of the CSEC paper that deals with the argumentative essay. People who know me know that I love to argue, I love to debate.
Yes.
And I think to myself that, okay, maybe this is a way of giving back to help people to develop these skills with the English language as well. One of the things I also want to talk about is that kind of relationship between the national and the community. Oftentimes when we think about media, we think about this, big national broadcast that is just spewing information to the public, and we oftentimes don't think about the community aspect of it. And so if I do a story, for example, on predial larceny and farmers in Clarendon, in St. Andrew, that is a direct relation to the community, even though it's on a national platform. And so I've also used my work, my career, to sort of go into communities, dig out these stories and put them on a national platform so that I can sort of, get help for the people involved, whether it is changes through legislation and so on and so forth.
And that's why most of us do the job. Final question for you. If there's one piece of advice that you could give to anyone who may be watching this, who may be wondering whether or not they should take that step to be more active in their community, help others, what would that one piece of advice be?
That advice would be ensure that you are, let's say, passionate about what you do. And so in a way, I'm saying, don't do it for the awards. That's what my primary advice would be. I mean, for me, I was just pretty much going about my life, trying to do good, trying to excel academically, trying to lead in the roles that I've been given, and just living my life. And if the awards come, they do come. But I mean, this probably is strange coming from somebody like me who's won numerous awards, but awards are not everything. And I say that obviously with a lot of privilege, somebody who's won awards, but really and truly, you just do the work. If they're seen and if you're recognized, that is all well and good. But if you don't get the awards, I don't want you to feel daunted and not continue the good work that you're doing in communities. Because even if it's not recognized at this level, you know that the people you've helped are feeling grateful and thankful for what you've done.
And that's a big deal. Thank you so much and congratulations.
Those were just a few of the stories from the 2024 Governor General's Achievement Awards recipients. It reminds us that there's nothing wrong with Jamaica that cannot be fixed with what is right with Jamaica. A staunch reminder that we must continue doing good in our communities. On behalf of the entire GGAA team, pleasant viewing.